Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motorcast. This is your host, Dave, and I got online special guest, owner, driver, Burnin Money, Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car, Bob Godfrey. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Pretty good. We had your other driver, Steve Easton, on earlier this year, so now we got you on. So, when did you start drag racing, Bob?
I've been drag racing since I was a kid.
Oh, how old were you?
I started driving when I was 16, so I started racing when I was 16.
So what was the first car you started racing in?
I used to have a 56 Chevy truck. I used to street race it. Now, if you want to know what the first car I raced legally, I raced a Carmen Ghia.
And then
I had the fastest Carmen Ghia around. I had the fastest funny car around for a long time, too. I ran 7 seconds in a Volkswagen.
Huh.
In the 80s. I did that in the 1980s.
So
pretty cool.
So in the 80s, you first started legal drag racing?
Yeah, about 79. I had a 9-second Carmen Ghia, and then I built a funny car that ran 7 seconds.
So what was your first funny car, Nitro?
No, it was a turbocharged Volkswagen.
Oh, you just said the Volkswagen. How long did you run that one for?
I ran that till about the 90s, and then I switched over to a Chevrolet and built an Alter, and then I built a Nitro car in the early 2000s.
So when did the Burnin Money car come into play?
About 2008. That's when I switched from a Chevrolet to a Hemi.
Okay. So the Burnin Money car, what kind of car is it?
It's a 95 Pluger chassis with a 72 Barracuda body.
And that car, you bought it, was it already built, or you had it built?
No, it was just a bare chassis. I built the whole thing. Me and some friends of mine mounted the bodies. I have another friend that makes the body, so that's how that came about.
And I know I talked to Steve about this. The name Burnin Money, that had to do with like burning money, like burning nitromethane?
Exactly.
Because when you're burning nitromethane, you're burning money away.
All of them got kind of catchy names, so you got to kind of think about what you were doing, and I just thought that fitted what we were doing.
Oh, yeah. If you're burning nitromethane, then you're burning money away.
Yes. Sometimes you burn a little more money, and sometimes you burn a little less.
Yeah. So, for you driving the car, what's been the quickest run you've made with it?
I've got some low 580s in the 240 range. Steve's quite a bit lighter than me, so it's easier to get the car to go faster with him than it is with me. I'm an old fat guy, you know?
So what happened to the car at the March meet with Steve driving it?
It broke a rod. And then, you know, in the whole time I've been racing the Nitro deal, I broke 2 rods. I broke one in 09 and this one. It's just something that happens. You put nitromethane in them, they're volatile. And now I have every armchair crew chief person trying to tell me how to fix it, what to do, and none of them own cars, so none of them have a clue what they're talking about. You know, you get all those people that don't know, well, do this, do that, do that. It has nothing to do with that. You're going to put nitro in them, they're going to break. And it just happened to break good this time. You know, took out the block, hurt both the cylinder heads, hurt the blower, took the body off. I got the body almost back together. So.
Yeah, I was.
It's about.
Go ahead.
The body's about halfway glued back together.
Yeah, I was joking with Steve about it on Facebook when he had the video up. I'm like, oh, you trying to compare yourself to John Force now? Have the bodies blown
out? Yeah. You know, they make some new safety stuff that goes around all the computer wires and stuff, so it didn't burn any of the computer wires, you know, so that saves money. And then, you know, the diaper did its job. You know, it contained all the fire up in there, and it burned a couple little spots on the diaper, but nothing major. Steve didn't get burnt. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
But it was expensive. Let me tell you, that was an expensive one. A couple years ago, I did that down in Texas. I blew the blower off of it. And, it's just one of those things. Stuff happens.
Yeah. So how long do you think it'll take before that car's up and ready to run again?
I have to be in Denver May 19th for a match race up there. My car's on the poster and the stuff up there that they're advertising. So I figure maybe in about probably 3 or 4 weeks, probably the middle of next month, it'll be up and running again.
Okay.
The car itself, it doesn't need anything. It's just the body. The car is just a matter of cleaning all the oil and stuff up on it, getting it ready and putting it back together, putting a spare motor in it, all the parts. So the car could be running tomorrow if we weren't working on the body.
Right.
It doesn't take anything to put the car back together. You just hose all the oil off the thing and dry it real good and clean all the oil tank and the oil lines, and everything's got to be cleaned. And you just put it all back together and start it up. But like I said, the other motor's sitting in the trailer ready to go. You just pull it out of the trailer and stick it in the car. It's ready to go in case you broke one.
Right. Now you guys had some cold weather up there for the March Meet weekend, huh?
Yeah. And rainy. Kind of unusual for that race. Normally that doesn't happen. I think I've been going there forever. We've only got rain like that twice where they had to. In fact, one time we got it where we finished on a Monday. So it just doesn't happen very often, But the weather's just been kind of screwy all year. So.
And Bobby Cottrell was the big winner, huh?
Yeah. He's got a car owner that's determined.
Oh yeah, Bucky's. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got like 17 muffler shops, and brake and all that radiator and whatever. So I'm just a regular old custom painter, paint race cars, do some header work, and go racing, have some fun.
So what made you get into drag racing when you first started?
My dad took me to a race in 1959. I think I was 5 years old, and they started with a flag. They didn't have Christmas trees. They just pull a flag up and go. It kind of always stuck with me. I liked it. Always wanted to do it. So when I got my driver's license, I went up to Palmdale and raced my car down the track, and then we started racing it, on the street. And it was just fun. So I just kept doing it.
So what year did you get your nitro license?
The first few years we ran nitro, they didn't have a nitro license. We had advanced DT licenses. And I think it was right around, 2001 or 2002, as your advanced DT license ran out, they switched it over to a fuel license.
So what did they require you to do to get your fuel license?
For me, nothing. All they did on me is transfer it over when mine ran out. Now, if you have a regular license, it takes three runs. If you don't have a license, it takes 6 runs. So if you got to do 6 runs, it's going to cost you a lot of money to get a license.
Yeah.
If you got to do 3 runs, it's not as bad. And I've licensed 4 or 5 people. And usually when I license them, I get $6,500. And they get 3 runs. And if they have to make a 4th run, it's $1,500 a run after that. But if you have to get a license where you have to make all 6 runs, it's going to cost you $15,000 or $16,000.
Oh yeah, it can be an expensive hobby.
Yeah, well, nitro went up this year. We used to pay $8.50 a drum. Now we're paying $12.50 a drum. So that's made it more money. California, so fuel is way out of hand money-wise to put in the truck and trailer.
Right.
You know, till you cross the border. You know, and then diesel's $1.50 cheaper outside California. So, but you know what? I do it. I love it. I don't plan to stop doing it. So, you know, it's just something that gets in your blood, and it's so accelerating when you hit the throttle in the thing, and then especially at night when it's got flames out both sides of the car, and you can see them when you're going down the track. Like we go to Denver, it's a night race.
Yeah.
It's their first big race of the season, is what it is. In Denver last year, when we went up there, it was snowing.
It's always nice to make people's eyes burn and all that, you know, with the nitro.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's fun to watch them when you whack the throttle and see how many of them jump. Because they're not expecting you know, when you have 3,000 horsepower and you grab a handful of the throttle for a quick blap, you know, the car tries to jump off the stand. It makes big, loud noise. And you can stand back and watch the people in the background that jump up because they weren't expecting it to do that.
So how many gallons your fuel pump?
We're only allowed a 21-gallon pump. We have a small blower, a 671. We're only allowed to drive it 18 over. Uses about 8 or 10 gallons a run of nitro. So figure it this way. It uses 8 to 10 gallons a run. It's $12 and it's $1,200 a drum, so it's around $16 or $17 a gallon. And you use 8 spark plugs a run, and you use 20 quarts of oil. So every run, you're putting 20 quarts of oil in it. You're putting 8 new spark plugs in it, and you put 14 gallons of nitro in it. And it burns between 8 and 10, depending on how long it takes to stage and how long a burnout you do. The longer burnout you do, the more fuel it uses. So it's pretty expensive per run.
Yeah,
but it's just fun. I can't tell you how much fun it is.
So have you ever watched John Lawson or Joe Haas racing their big flame cars?
I have watched him. In fact, I think he just ran a 538 the other day, the 278 or something. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting for an old body car to do that.
Yeah, they put out some big ass header flames.
Yes, they do. Well, that's because of the fuel pump and the mag. See, we're not allowed to run that with the series that we run.
Right.
Because he's got a huge pump and a huge mag on that. But I suspect you're going to see more and more of that.
Just like Tom Moultrie with his fuel altered drastic plastic.
Yes.
That thing's
incredible. The fuel alters that they run out here are restricted to 6.0 because the guys won't put carbon brakes on them and they don't want to put front brakes on them. See, some of those ones you have back east that are hauling butt, they all got all the good stuff on them, and that's why they run that good. And they definitely look better with big header flames. I mean, that's what people pay to see.
So now, what size engine you got in your funny car?
457 cubic inch. It's a Brad Anderson.
All right, so now
we're allowed. I don't know. I don't have a 500 inch.
What kind of tires you got on it?
Mickey Thompson. I've ran those since day one. That's the only kind of tire I've ever ran on it.
And
it's got a 2-speed Linco transmission. It's got an AFT glide clutch in it. You know, just the same thing. Basically, everybody has the same thing. Just everybody's got a different gear ratio, rear end combination, fuel delivery combination, a little different.
Right. So now, when you first started drag racing years ago, who was inspirational to you back then?
For drag racing, I used to go watch Jim Dunn and Joe Paisano and the Snake and the Mongoose in Orange County.